What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. All right, so real quick, I just want to point out the reason why I haven't been live streaming. Man, my family is sick, and this last week of our R99 before a big patch, like there's just really not much to do, and so I just figure I would spend that time with my family, trying to take care of them and do everything like that. So yeah, and I prefer to do that. Prefer to be a good husband, good dad, than spend time not really doing much on R99 live streaming. But with the patches that we're getting with Global and CN, we'll go back to live streaming. Okay, family's starting to get better and everything. I just want to make sure, like, it's not that I'm stopping live streaming. It's just that it just didn't make sense because there's just nothing to really do on the live stream. Like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but there's nothing for me to do. And I didn't feel like sitting there just talking for 3, 4, 5 hours. I'd rather have something in the game to do, and I've completed everything. Right? It's the last week. Like everybody knows in gotchas, like the last week before a big patch, there's just nothing. Okay. But anyways, let's get into this video. So today's video, we're gonna be talking about some Lucy versus Windsong, some different metas, some pull priorities, and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a little bit of a rambling video, and it's gonna be talking about a lot of CN stuff. So if you're not wanting to hear it, you're not really caring about any CN stuff, any meta talks, then this isn't gonna be for you. Okay. Give it a second for those people to click off the video. All right. So those of you who are still here, after this video, make sure to comment down below because the day of the patch for CN 2.2, I will be streaming a lot that day. Like it'll probably be like an 8, might even scoot over to 10-hour stream. I did it for 2.0. And so this is an anniversary one. So I'm gonna do it again. Okay. But there's gonna be a lot of stuff. It'll also be the night or like hours before y'all start pulling Lucy's, and so we can really talk about some stuff. So if you're wanting to get any questions answered, discuss meta, anything like that, that'll be a good time. But if you comment all that stuff, I'll be able to remember stuff that I want to talk about. But anyways, Lucy versus Windsong. I want to like point out the obvious that like, because some people might think I'm oblivious to it. I know that Windsong is stronger than Lucy. Like, I know that numbers wise, high score wise, and everything like that, that Windsong is stronger than Lucy. I want everyone to like understand that. But here's the thing. Okay. Lucy, for most players, and just for me being a content creator, it is when people look at Lucy, like while Windsong was really, really great, Lucy's gonna be a big focus for a while now. Because she's the upcoming limited character, and she does a lot of stuff, and just story-wise people are interested in her. If you were on the live stream with me, like bro, people were just excited for Lucy. Okay, she looks like she does a lot. She looks cool. Okay. And if you're a casual player, you just play auto and stuff like that, bro, like she's gonna be a good character for you. Like, while yes, raids is the hardest content in the game for global, um, and Windsong beats Lucy in those situations, that's true. But like, that's not for everybody. Because like 850 score isn't really hard for anyone. And then, like, some people, they'd be like, okay, well then maybe they should try to get red triple S. Like, well, red triple S isn't necessary now, is it? So when we use like, oh, I'm gonna pull the best characters for raids, it's kind of like, well, that's a low bar. Like, pulling characters to triple S a raid is a low bar now. And I know it's crazy to say that, but it is. Like, R99 is easy. The hardest content of R99 is something that's unnecessary, and that's the roguelike. The roguelike is the hardest content in the game. And I'm counting CN, like where CN is at. It is the hardest content in the game. And it's not even necessary to do. So, like, again, pulling characters for the raid is a low bar. And that's where it's like, then you can just pull whatever you want, right? Which is very true. And so, like, Lucy just makes everything trivial. The more you invest into her, she makes things trivial. And that's just what it is, okay? But And I don't want like those people who are really hardcore on going against Lucy or just don't want Lucy to feel like I'm just like saying like y'all are dumb, like your reasons like no. Like there's plenty of reasons not to summon Lucy. You you could just not like the character. You could just not want to go with meta. You could just want to go with Windsong because you like Windsong and you just want to prove to people that Lucy isn't the end all be all, right? Like there's multiple reasons that you could not summon Lucy, but I still have more gray hairs than that. Like, there's not a lot of reasons to not pull her other than just personal reasons. Like, and that all matters. It's all justified. But for me as a content creator, as a blanket statement overall, the average answer for most people's accounts would be like, yeah, just get Lucy. Like, and there's nothing wrong with it. And you have plenty of pulls to get her and still get other characters. And then also when I look at the characters coming after Lucy, like, it's not that many that are crazy. Okay. So after Lucy, we see a change in how they've released characters. Um, really after Kakanya. But anyways, like they've changed how they've put out characters to, I think, solve a problem. They made Lucy and they made Windsong, and nobody's topping them in DPS between these two. Okay? Nobody's topping these two in their content and their DPS. Because, like, in single target, Windsong has it down. In every content, like, we'll put Windsong up here. You can't even see my hand. Like, she's way up here. For Lucy, we'll put her, like, you know, here. For everything else, AoE wise and everything like that, right? Quickly carrying content also, like, you can just auto and do everything, right? So, like, if you're a manual, like, player, there you go. Auto Andy, there you go. Okay, everything else from down there is strong. Don't get me wrong, it's strong, but it's not Lucy Windsong tier. Okay, it's fair to say that. It's fair to say that. Okay, so let's move on. Kakanya, great at P0. She's still great. I want to stress at P0. At P0, she is still great. Because do not use my my Kakanya as a reference. Because what you see my Kakanya do ain't what your Kakanya will do, okay? It's like at the store, you know, you're looking at the TVs, any of you who are adults, you look at the TVs, like, man, that TV looks great. Cannot wait till it gets home. You get it home and it does not look as great, okay? That is what will happen if I don't explain this, okay? P0 Kakanya is not going to be able to self-sustain your team. P0 Kakanya is not going to be giving you 1 million like Genesis damage procs that you see displayed. P0 Kakanya is not going to be just having your healing just go off the wall and pulsing out all of this ridiculous like procs of like gen damage that you're seeing some people do. It's not going to happen. She's not going to tank as much damage as you've seen. Okay, reasons being that she even has potential locked behind portraits. Like, no one talks about it. Like, people talk about Mercuria. Like, you know, people talk about when Mercuria has locked behind portraits. No one talks about Kakanya. Kakanya has crazy. The fact that her healing, you get over the P2, you get a crazy amount more healing, and then on the P3, you up your empathy cap, which like upping the empathy cap gives you more tank, more Genesis damage, and more heals. Like, she's a completely different character from P0 to P3. Very similar to Mercuria. But anyways. Her 30% damage that you are able to apply to the boss is Genesis damage. That really only works when you have a really strong DPS. So like if you have a character like, let's just say Windsong, who's able to burst crazy amounts of damage, okay, then you're able to get those Genesis damage procs that give you a crazy Genesis damage proc on other enemies other than Hydra, right? Because like on Hydra, she obviously does a lot more damage. The boss takes like what, 75% more Genesis, so it makes Kakanya look crazy. On other bosses, it's like good, but it's not as wild as it is on those bosses, right? And the 1000% of empathy stacks, like you get more empathy by putting in resonance or by having a higher level of your character, right? Putting more into her health. And if you're not going to be pushing her to R15, like like changing her resonance over first, or pushing her to like R12 or like some higher resonance, then her empathy cap is just going to be stuck where it's at. And so, she'll probably do 30, 40, 50 K on Hydra, and everywhere else she'll probably do like less, like 20, 30K or something like that, without needing a lot because their empathy is going to be maxed. It's really good. But you'll have to empty that empathy really quickly by pushing a lot of AP to her, because the cap happens so quickly that you're going to have to dump it, and you'll have to heal her a lot because she's taking a lot of damage for your team, and if she's not doesn't have as much health to do that, then you'll have to heal her a lot. So there's a lot that comes into it, a lot of stuff I've seen, and a lot of y'all will see that when you get her. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. But still a great character. She's still a great raid character and other things like that, because she adds on to the damage, especially with these raids that are showcasing one character's strength. Like, Kakanya is really great for that. The characters now that come after her are really either made for specific situations, or you kind of have to be like, she's great, but Jay, he cool. He real cool. He real solid. Is he necessary? No, I'm so sorry. He's not necessary. But if you want a really cool looking male character, then he might be necessary for you. Like, if you just want to chat on your account, then you get Jay. I'm not telling you not to get Jay. I'm just telling you he's not necessary. Okay? Because he's made for burn. And if you're not invested into burn, and you don't care to make a burn team, and you don't have that. Also, you gotta manage his health. And a lot of people don't like managing the health of characters. And so there's that, because you gotta stay low health, but then you gotta heal him whenever he might get bursted. You gotta protect the man, and it requires a lot, because he does make it a little bit much to manage. And then putting him with Kakanya isn't gonna help, because Kakanya could overheal him, and he will be doing less damage. So yeah. But anyways, uh, cool character, but yeah. Then you have a character like Mercuria. Mercuria has been, she's gone through it, hasn't she? Uh, to put it simply, if you're the type of player who wants to use characters that level up their cards, like you like Empower Incantation teams, or you like using characters who want to have 2-star or higher cards, then Mercuria is for you, right? I'm just going to put it simple as that. If you like your Marcus, if you like your Windsong, if you like your Vila with the Rusalka buff, level 2 or higher, if you like the way Argus looks, then get Mercuria. Other than that, if you're like, I love the poison team a little bit more, or you're like, I like the burn team a lot, or you're not really involved in these three characters like that, then don't really be focused on Mercuria, because you can get away without her. Even though like she has a lot of buffs and stuff going on, like at P0 she cool. Like, I'm just being real. At P0 she cool, but she's not the greatest character known to man. Okay? Like, there's a lot of people who are really strong about what they feel about Mercuria, and I get it, but it's not consistent. Like, I just have to be so real. It's not consistent, because it's all based off of her stacks, and her stacks don't happen easy with every team and every character. And so, like, for me as a content creator, instead of like especially in a video, instead of trying to dive deep into it really like that heavy right now, like, just for most players, she's just not the move for you. Okay, it's just what it is. Now a character that is my personal favorite, Tuesday. She is also not necessary, because while yes, she makes Genesis damage go crazy, she makes poison teams work really well. I personally love her because I love poison, and she does it right better than Jessica. She also doesn't go with Jessica, which is weird. So those who are hoping to pull her for your Jessica, like, you can use her, but they don't really go together. Um, and she goes with Sotheby, which a lot of people don't like Sotheby. And pulling Tuesday for Sotheby, like, to some people sounds silly. And so, if I'm just being honest, it's like not a reason for everybody to pull for Tuesday. And Tuesday does do a lot. She's really cool, and she still has the crit resistance as she lowers, and she still ups Genesis damage, but it's not super necessary. It's like another specific team. And so, yeah, as much as I love her, sadly to say, it's not super necessary. Argus, she's the same. The same thing I was saying for Mercuria applies to her. If you're not pulling Mercuria, if you don't have your Marcus, then don't get Argus. It's simple as that. She does not work with Windsong. So, um, it's Mercuria or Marcus. That's pretty much it. So, um, and she's for that specific type of team. And so that goes into my next thing to say. That's how they've been making characters. They've been making characters for this very specific team, very specific situations, because they made Windsong and Lucy so strong. Because, like, what DPS, like, what straight DPS would be able to top these characters? Because what a lot of y'all say is, like, well, this is what's going to happen. I explained it on a live stream. You're going to put all this effort and everything into your Windsong and your Lucy, and then now you're going to be looking at the characters like, well, what do they offer me that my Lucy can't do or my Windsong can't do? That's what a lot of players are going to look like because they made such a strong character. So now they're like building up a lot of these niches because they're like, well, there's going to be those players who are not going to summon because they're like, we have the strongest character. But for a lot of people, they're going to pull characters. They're like, well, I like these niche teams. I like the burn team. I like the poison team. Right now, we're going to have a gun meta, bro. Like, my inner American is screaming, bro. Like, we're going to have a whole bullet meta coming out. So, like, that's going to create a whole new team that some people are going to be interested in. I'm interested in it. So, they're still, like, looking for that. But all in all, what did we learn from this video? Right, because I'm going to tie this up. I don't want to make it too long. One, Lucy versus Windsong. Windsong is strong. And if you like to top out and do high score stuff, get Windsong. If you like to auto the game, do Lucy. When it comes to pulling the characters, after Lucy, Kakani is probably the best pick to pull. But everybody else is going to be based off of your account and what you pull and your preferences because they are not must summons. None of them. I don't care what anyone says. I'm talking to every content creator. Anybody after Kakanya and up to Anjonala, none of them are a must summon. And honestly, we ain't had a must summon character in a long time. Like, Windsong's not even must summon, but she is strong. Lucy's not necessarily must summon, but she is limited. Okay? This game is just too easy to have must summon. So I'm going to say it again. There's no such thing as a must summon in this game because this game is too easy. Okay? Now, if you're wanting to beat roguelikes and stuff in the hardest difficulty, right, and you really care about that content, then we can talk about some must summons for roguelike, okay? Maybe we make a roguelike tier list because I've spent countless hours in there. Countless hours. We'll talk about, like, yo, who's the best characters for the tier for the roguelike. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about upcoming. So this is what I want to see in the comments, right? So I'm gonna put the specific stuff I want to see. I want to hear what y'all think about characters that have come out since Lucy Windsong and the direction that they've made, right? The fact that they haven't put out any hardcore DPSs, okay? Let me know the individual thoughts you have on these characters. Jay, Argus, Mercuria, Tuesday, right? What y'all think of these characters. And then you can give me some thoughts that you have on Lucy since she's coming up and we'll be talking about her. All right, guys, I want to have some good debate, good topics and stuff like that. Like, no BS. Like, come on, let's be cool. But anyways, you lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lux out.